Hello and welcome to my channel. I am Leora and I am here to help individuals like yourself discover and reveal their light within. Today on my heart is to share with you guys how we can take away layers of the ego. And I'm not a big fan of, we need to totally destroy the ego, we don't need the ego. I see the ego, and my understanding of the ego is like a training partner. An opponent, somebody who opposes me and gives me resistance. Just like our bodies need resistance in order to build muscle and to stay healthy, our spirit also needs resistance in order to train and to be healthy and to go further. And so I see the opponent, the ego, more as an energy force that opposes me in areas that I have potential to grow and transform. And areas that my soul has come into this world to transform and to grow in. And so I have a respect for the ego, but it's very important for us to be able to understand how the ego works and what the ego's tactics are. And the more and more we can see and understand the tactics of the ego, the more we can, the more of these fights, these battles we can win. Okay, we do want to win. It's an opponent, so we want to learn our opponent. We want to learn the weak spots in our opponent. We want to learn, it's not really learning the weak spots in the opponent, it's learning your weak spots. And when you learn about your weak spots, then you know where your opponent's going to attack you. That's a better way to put it, okay? So the more I get to know myself, the more I get to know where my potential for transformation is, that's going to be the area that the opponent is going to attack, but not attack in a negative way, because we respect our trainings partner and we have a certain amount of thankfulness for them, because without a trainings partner we would not get any further. And so there's a balance to it. Okay, so yes, I do want to figure out how the ego works so that I can defeat the ego. And one thing that the ego likes to do is likes to have us think that we are the creators, the sole creators of everything we do. That means if I'm working on a project, my ego will attack me there, as long as I believe I'm the sole creator of this product or this project. For instance, let's go back, let's lay a foundation. Let's go back to a spiritual idea, a Kabbalistic spiritual idea of how we came into being. So it goes back in the endless world where the endless light, the creator, wanted to give everything, love, just joy, and just wanted something to give to. And so the creator created a vessel in order to receive everything, all the goodness, and from the creator comes only goodness, only joy, only positive things, okay? And so the creator created a vessel and began to pour into this vessel everything, every blessing you can imagine, every good thing you can imagine. The creator just poured in and poured in and poured into this vessel. But something happened. When we pour ourselves, our energy into something, we are also transferring a part of our energy into that something. So this desire to give was transferred into this vessel. And all of a sudden, this vessel did no longer want it to receive without doing something in order to receive, without earning. It's kind of like if you had a child and you had a huge business that you built up from the bottom. You spent 20 plus years making it into an empire, and then you just gave it over to the child. That child's not going to have the same, it's impossible. The child's not going to have the same fulfillment with this empire that you had, because you created it and you earned everything that you put into it. And so that is the vessel. And so as the vessel, we rejected what the creator wanted to give us. We didn't want to just receive. We wanted to be a part of creation ourselves. We want it to be the cause and not just the receiver. And so the vessel exploded. And that's where all the millions of souls come from. You, me, everyone, we're all one. We began as one vessel, but now we're just in different pieces throughout the whole world. And the endless light created this world in order to give us possibilities for our souls to earn the light, to earn the blessings, to earn the goodness, which is, we can go into various different levels of how we do that in this world, and I will be putting up more videos and content for you to understand that and really be able to appreciate it and be able to use it in order to grow and transform. So the one of the points I wanted to talk about today was just the ego. So we have a desire to receive. We were made to receive. We have a desire to receive. But because we resisted just receiving without earning, we wanted to earn what we received, and we wanted to be able to share what we received. And that's being like the light. Because the light, so we have to have this combination both. We have to have the desire to receive, but not just for self alone. And that's where the ego comes in. The opponent comes in to try to get you to receive everything just for self alone. And that's what we're supposed to resist here in this world in order to transform and to come into come into this endless light, these endless blessings. So we have this desire to receive on one end, just like the light, or just like the vessel did, but we also want to give, and that's like the light. And so we became co-creators with the light. And where the ego tries to get you is the ego tries to say, okay, well, you're the creator, or you're the one that started that project, and you're the one that invested everything in that project. You gave up sleep, you gave up your time, you gave up going out with friends, everything you invested in this project. Okay, so the ego wants us to believe it's just ours, that we are the cause of this project, and that we are invested in this project. And the trick of it is to say, no, I'm just a vessel. I'm a vessel that this project is, that the light is flowing through in order to co-create with the light this project. But whether this project is a failure or a success is 100% up to the light, the endless light. And whatever I need, whatever my soul correction needs at this moment will determine whether it's a success or a failure. Stay with me. So we can't be invested in the projects that we do. We have to look at it as a thing that I can let go of this at any moment. It doesn't matter. A good example is, let's say you're busy doing something, and all of a sudden your kid comes in the room and you're working on something, you're concentrated, and your kid comes in the room and interrupts you. What do you do at that moment? Do you yell at them and tell them to get out of the room, they're bugging you? Or if I'm invested in something and concentrate on something, yes, I'll do that. But if I realize that everything I put my energy into, I'm only co-creating with the creator together, and I'm only a vessel, then I can stop what I'm doing and take that child and hear what they need from me. My ego would react as in, I'm busy right now, I'm doing something very important. But when I learn to not be so invested in everything I do and just let it flow and not hang on to things, that's where pain comes from, is when we're holding on to things and we're trying to make something happen. That's ego. That's 100% ego. Even if the ego starts saying, well, the project's not going to work. Okay, so the ego starts to talk to you negativity. And all negativity is from the ego, okay? None of it is true. We decide what truth is. So all negativity stems from self-doubt. And so the ego can only poke us in the areas where we resonate with it. We're triggered by it because somehow we believe that about ourselves. So let's get back to the project. We're working on a project, and the ego pokes us and says, you're not good enough to do that project. I can try to, I can believe that and totally, give up on the project. I can struggle through the project with this self-doubt that I'm not good enough in order to fulfill this project. Or I can take a step back and say, you know what? It really doesn't matter. It doesn't have to do with how good I am or how bad I am. It has to do with I'm a vessel. And just stop in that moment and say, light of the Creator, endless light, thank you. I am simply your vessel to work through me and to shine through me and to get this project done, if it be your will. And if not, then we'll look over it and go on to something else. When we learn to flow, when we learn to take ourselves out of things and not be so invested in them, then we take away a layer where the ego can attack us. Because all negativity comes from self-doubt in some form. For instance, you're not smart enough. Maybe the ego is saying, you're not smart enough to do that. You know what? I'm just a vessel that the light of the Creator flows through with all wisdom and all knowledge and everything that needs to be done. I'm just a vessel. I'm not limited. When we believe, when we buy into what the ego is telling us, we limit ourselves. Our self-doubt is just putting limitations around us in order to not be able to transform and not be able to do what we need to do in this world. And when I don't listen to the ego, but everything the ego throws at me, I turn around and say, okay, you're not good enough. Okay, it doesn't have to do with me. I am just the vessel that the energy of the light of the Creator is flowing through and to the world. I take myself out of the equation. And so taking myself out of the equation and just having this thing, I own nothing. Yeah, that's another thing, a fear, oh, you're going to lose everything. This investment, you're going to lose all your money, you're going to lose your house. I own nothing. None of us do. We are simply managers, managing everything that the Creator has given us. We have everything we need at our disposal, but we own nothing. It's impossible to lose something because we own nothing. And when we get to a point where we realize even our children they come through us into this world. That's a very good example. We're just a vessel of something flowing through us and coming into this world, but they have their life path just as well. We are a part of that, or we're supposed to be a part of that, but I can't control or hang on to my children because I'm not the sole creator of them. There's a trust there. There are three things basically that the Creator of this universe needs from us in order to work through us. The first one is a willingness. A willingness to say, okay, I don't have the education maybe that I need. I don't have the looks maybe that I need. I don't have the status. I don't have the money. I don't have any of that, but I'm willing. If you can make it happen, I have this desire in my heart and I'm willing. And that's the thing. What is our heart's desire, our soul's desire? We have to be able to distinguish that from our ego's desire. Our ego wants, I want to be rich and famous just so I can, have validation and stuff like that. That's ego. It's pure ego. That's not your soul's desire. Your soul's desire is here to receive in order to share. So what is your purpose? What is your way that you can share your light, your individual light? You have a very individual spark to you. And what are you here for? How can you share that light to the rest of us? And that's the soul's desire. The soul's desire is always that. And the soul's desires, it can be something big that, getting out of my comfort zone is coming over here and making these videos for you guys. That's my soul's desire is to share my light in this way. But of course, my ego will come in and tell me, well, nobody cares. Nobody wants to listen. Whatever. That's not my part of it. My part of it is the willingness. Creator, I'm here. I'm willing. Do what you need to do through me. I'm willing. That's what That's what the Creator needs from us. The second thing the Creator needs from us is courage. We have to be courageous enough to take these steps. I have to be courageous enough to get out of my comfort zone and take the time to do things that I know my soul desires, and I know the Creator desires from me, and I know are part of the calling and the purpose of my life. And so I have to be courageous to put myself out there, not caring what the feedback is, not caring if it's negative. It doesn't matter. And that's the thing that we have to realize, is that the ego, this negative force that is in this universe, yes, you have your individual ego, but the egos are all connected. Just like we as souls are all connected, the egos are all connected. And the egos get together and they'll have somebody else. For instance, if I'm at a point where I no longer believe my thoughts, my negative thoughts, but I can transform them and open myself further and further up as a vessel, okay? But deep inside me, subconsciously, there might still be a point. Let's take the example of being good enough, self-worth, okay? Let's say that I've gotten so far with my ego and my transformation that I can say, okay, I'm not believing what the ego says. You know, you're not worthy enough to be able to do this work. I just turn that around and say, you know what? I'm just a vessel. I'm a vessel for the worthiness of the creation to flow through me and to reach the people that need to hear, that need help, that need healing. I am just a vessel. And so if I'm going on like that, if I get in a habit of doing that all the time, my ego is going to realize, dang it, I've got to stop giving her ammunition. You know, I've got to stop giving her weapons to use. She's just turning everything I say and turning it into an empowering statement. I've got to stop doing that. And so what the ego does is the ego will start coming outside, go to somebody else's ego, maybe a friend, a family member, or a stranger's ego, and will start telling them the lies to say back to you, which is extremely interesting. You have to be the ego's so subtle in its ways, and when you start really seeing it for what it does and who it is, then you start noticing all these little variations that it's got in its back pocket, you know. And so he or she goes and gets somebody else to come tell me, yeah, do you think you're really worthy enough to be able to do that? Or probably won't use those words, but do you, with your background and with everything you've done wrong in your life, do you think you're really okay to be a figure out in public to teach others? You know? And so there it is. And then you get it on the outside of you, and you're like, you have to keep your affirmation. It doesn't matter if it comes on the inside or outside of you. You have to keep that affirmation. You know what? I'm just a vessel that's willing to be used in any way that the light of creation wants to. If any way that the creator of this universe wants to co-create with me and flow through me and bless the people of this world. I just have the willingness. Okay, so that's number one. You have to have the willingness, and number two, you have to have the courage. You have to have the courage not to believe the negativity, whether it's coming in from inside or from outside. You have to stay your course. You have to know that, okay, yeah, I might get some backlash. Yeah, I might get some bad reviews or whatever, but it's okay. I'm not doing it for that. I'm doing it for all the other people that I'm helping. You know, and that's the thing. And I'm doing it just to be a light, just to be a vessel for the light of the Creator to flow through. Okay? Number three, you have to have certainty. What does that mean to have certainty? First of all, we just established that I am simply a vessel. I am a co-creator with the Creator. And He needs willingness from me, He needs courage from me, and He needs certainty from me. What does that mean, certainty? What am I supposed to have certainty in? We are supposed to have certainty in our lives, in the Creator, knowing that everything that has happened, everything that is happening, and everything that will happen, no matter what it looks like, if it looks like it's negative, if it looks like it's positive, if it looks like if it's painful, if it makes me happy, whatever's happening is happening because the light of the Creator said I needed it, in order for me to transform and to go to my next level. So no matter what happens, we have this certainty that all things, one of my credos, my biggest affirmation is, all things happen for my greatest good. Everything. It doesn't matter what I'm sticking in right now and how much I'm crying and how much it's hurting. It's for my benefit. And this certainty that it's also very freeing, I find it, because I don't, with certainty, you don't get so caught up in what's going on around you, what other people are doing, or what people are doing to me, nobody can do anything to you. If you start looking at it like you are the star in your movie, you are the screenwriter in your movie, you're the producer in your movie, you play pretty much every part, and all these other individuals, your family members, your colleagues, your friends, they're just playing parts. They're playing a part in your film, and your film is written especially for you to transform and for you to come into your full power, your co-creator power, where you know that you know that you know everything in your life. You're in control. And I'm not talking about control like trying to manipulate people, trying to get them to do, no. By taking responsibility for everything in our life, that's how we gain control of our lives. That means nobody can do anything to me because I'm taking responsibility for everything. If it's in my film, there's a reason it's in my film, and I needed it in my film, and I trust that I needed it in my film. Although maybe it wasn't fair, and it doesn't justify, I want to take a moment to clear that up really good. It does not justify abuse or anything would happen, or anything that anybody did to you. It doesn't justify it. It's not justifying them. But by taking responsibility for it, you take your power back. You take what they stole on light from you, whatever it may have been, and you take it back. And you say, I don't understand maybe why that happened. I know that the universe is justice. I know there's always a cause and effect. And somewhere, whether it be in this life or in past lives, I caused an effect. I set a cause into motion that delivered that effect. And although as a child I wasn't responsible for it, I couldn't have done anything or seen anything, it's there for my benefit. It's there for me. That's how I come back into my power. If you live your life in certainty, the fear of things drops away because you're not afraid anymore. Because you know that only what's supposed to happen to you will happen to you. And you know if it's supposed to happen to you, it is for your highest good. And you're thankful for it. When we walk in certainty, then whatever happens to us in our lives can either propel us forward when we're in certainty or can hold us back and hold us as slaves to our past. And that's our choice. The creator needs a co-creator that will live in certainty. Because if we're not living in certainty, we are trapped in our past. We're tortured in our past. We're not going to be able to go forward. And that's exactly what your opponent wants. That's exactly what the ego wants. He wants you to believe all those lies, all those things that happened to you in the past as a child, the abuse your father put you through, the abandonment your mother put you through, all that stuff, whatever kind of abuse it was, physical abuse, sexual abuse, it doesn't matter. I'm not making it small. It is important. And on that list, I have several of them, okay? But if we stay in our past and we keep blaming that individual for what happened to us, we're empowering that individual and they're still hurting us. We have to understand that. We have to take our light back, the pieces of our soul that we lost through that happening. We have to reclaim them. They're never totally lost. Energy is never lost. So we have to just, it's just being, it's being held on to. And so we have to reclaim that. We reclaim it by taking responsibility and by forgiving. Not justifying. Huge difference. Taking responsibility, forgiving, and saying, okay, light of the creation, if I don't know why it happened, but I know it's for my greatest good. I didn't like that it happened. It hurt. It cost me a lot of years of going through other things as a result of that. Just to clarify, psychologically, we would say that a child that, let's take a little boy that was beaten by his mother as a child, grew up to have problems with women because he was beaten by his mother as a child. In spirituality, we go further. We go further into past lives, and we take those things that we're supposed to correct into these lives. So that child that had to go through that was taking it from a past life, something that child, who probably wasn't a child in the past life, caused somebody else pain. And our childhood is there for us to remember what we're here to correct. And so with that, that's actually an example I know of. And this grown man for his whole life had problems with connecting with women until he figured out this concept of forgiveness and of thankfulness. I had to go back in my past and reclaim those things, take responsibility for them, and know that the universe is just in every way, but not to justify the situation or the person, okay? But if you want to break free from something, it's very important to take these steps. So he did. He after 25 years of not talking to his mother, he ended up getting contact with her and forgiving her and having a relationship with her for the last 2 years of her life. And he ended up slowly but surely healing that mother wound in him, and is in a wonderful relationship, a very fulfilling relationship today with a family. But had he not taken responsibility, had he not done his spiritual work, had he not reclaimed that part of his soul that was being held captive, that he would have never been able to make this transformation. And that's just it. We have certainty. We have certainty that's there for a reason. If it's in my book, and that's another thing, it's not that there's just some distant God up there that just wrote our life for us. We are the screenwriters. And for some reason, we need that part in there. It would be more understandable if you, I work with people with doing soul healing coaching. So there are things in your soul's plan, in your astrological natal chart that show past incarnations, show what you brought into this world, show what you're supposed to be transforming in this world in order to rewrite your natal chart. Basically, you come in with certain energy into this world, but you have a purpose. Your soul has a purpose. All the pain and suffering has a purpose, and we need to realize that nothing is random in the universe. Although it may look chaotic sometimes, nothing is random. There's a purpose and a plan for everything, for you, for me, for all of us. And the more and more we come into our conscious mind, the more and more we can heal ourselves and free ourselves and rewrite our natal plan, rewrite the trauma, rewrite and bring healing into our plan, bring transformation into our plan. It's an amazing and a very fulfilling work. So the three things that we need in order to be co-creators with the universe is our courage, our willingness to be a vessel and not be too invested in what we're doing, but to know that we are just the vessel. Everything belongs to the Creator. And our certainty to know that everything that happens is perfectly planned and perfectly there to propel me forward. If I learn how to do that and how to trust. I wish you guys an amazing day, and we'll see each other soon.